last big case I tried as a defense lawyer was a wrongful death case involving the drowning of a 9-year-old. And I tried to get as much money as I could on it because I knew I was going to beat those lawyers, because I knew I was a better trial lawyer than them. But it didn't sit well with me. And it was the first time I ever won a trial and went home and did not celebrate it. And I said to myself, like, if I'm not celebrating my wins, then this doesn't feel good, then I need to do something else. And so it took a little bit, but probably it was less than a year later that I left and joined Alex's firm. What I do now is so much harder. Crafting the arguments and crafting the theory and figuring out how to ensure that the jury understands the effect your client's injuries actually had on them as a person, and figuring out what the emotions of your case are. When I was a defense lawyer, the formula for us was I needed, pre-existing medical conditions, a lie. I practice in a pure contributory negligence state. And so the bar was not as high, I feel, now that I've done it on both sides. And so as a plaintiff's lawyer, I have done more attending CLEs and trial skills seminars and reading books to develop and hone those skills than I ever did as a defense lawyer, just because I just think our burden, obviously it's our burden, but I just think we have such a huge mountain to climb when it comes to presenting our cases to juries. You can tell when someone is standing in front of you and they are not comfortable with themselves, right? And I think that when someone appears comfortable and relaxed, that exudes confidence. And then the jury looks to that person as a leader. But when you are not comfortable with yourself, right, and trying to figure your own emotions out about the case, I think juries pick up on those things. And I don't think you present your case as confident. And that's one thing we teach. You are the leader in the courtroom, right? And you want the jury to be looking to you for the answers. And if you're not confident in yourself, you're not going to be their leader. I am only concerned with whether I tried this case the best way I could, whether I did the best job for my client, whether I tried it better than I tried cases last year and the year before that. And so, but I think just because of the advertising and marketing and just kind of how we've all come up, we get so focused on, if I lose this trial, that says something about me. And I think we internalize that as like our worth is based upon the outcomes of these trials. We don't know what a jury's going to do. And I'm not going to allow a jury, what 12 people think of my case, if I try it to the best of my ability and I do what I know I needed to do. That doesn't establish my value or my worth. But I think most lawyers feel like that. Our results equal our worth, and we've got to get away from that. What I've seen, Alex is branded as the billboard lawyer, but in the new markets we're not even really buying billboards other than kind of like Atlanta, because digital marketing is the trend. And I think what I've seen is when firms are marketing, themselves digitally, social media, SEO, they're going to get cases in your market. And so one of the things like that is a mission for us is to establish relationships with lawyers in other states, because you never know when you're going to get a case in Seattle and you need to know who to call immediately if it's a trucking case, right? But you never know. Someone may end up with the case in Alabama. Like, we've had cases referred to us from Canada. And, you just don't know. And so it's just a waste to come to these things and not meet somebody new. I think that I have gotten to the point where my legacy is much more important to me than the outcomes. Like I feel like I've done the mindset work that I am not, like you said, I would love an $8 million verdict, right? But I would much rather know that I am doing all the things to make sure that when I leave this earth, I had the best skill set that I could possibly have. I think as trial lawyers, we're always learning. And so it's to continue to learn, but I think that it is to really narrow down my cases. And I will probably handle less cases because I would like to teach more and maybe even write a book. I think that there is a gap in, and this is for, women trial lawyers. I think that there is a gap in mentoring for women trial lawyers. And there are just some obstacles that women in this space face that are just different. And there aren't a lot of people out there talking about that. And so I'm much more focused, I think, in the next 10 years of my life on what is my legacy going to be? What impression am I going to leave in this world that is not based on verdicts and cases tried? We have become such a superficial society, right? With social media. And I know, look, I market on social media, but I think that it has, because I can just text my friends and not have to see them to connect with them. Like, we're not connecting with people, and that goes back to being surface level. And I think when you have disagreements and you just look at the facts of the disagreement, right? And not, okay, let me try to understand your perspective, right? And I may disagree with that perspective, but I want to understand you. And for some reason, we just don't do enough of that. We just don't. And I think it translates into what we do as trial lawyers.